Flawed premise number 10. I cannot have everything that I desire, so I have to give up some things that are important to me in order to get others.
That's a belief in shortage, that if I give this up, then I'll get that. I have to give up my freedom to have money, or I have to give up my freedom to have a relationship. A lot of people feel that they're compromising, where the true premise is that there is no shortage, and that if I have the ability to desire it, then the universe has the ability to deliver it. But I must be a perfect vibrational match to my desire, which means I have to feel relief and ease and joy and ecstasy when I focus upon it. And when I feel that way, then the manifestation of it must follow. It is law.
11, flawed premise number 11. If I leave an unwanted situation, I will find what I'm looking for.
Well, the reason that's a flawed premise is you can't get there from there. If you see something unwanted and that's active in your vibration, so you go somewhere else, you take yourself and that active vibration with you, so it prevents you from getting it in the next place, just like your vibration prevented you from getting it in the last place. So the true premise is the universe is always yielding to me an exact representation of where my vibration is. So if I want a different manifestation than what I'm getting, I have to find a different vibration first. That's why we say, feel your way, and then the manifestation will follow.
Yes. Yes. So I've talked to you before about my acting career. I've got 2 movies coming out next year. It's fabulous. And just like what the baseball player was saying, I don't care so much I don't care. I mean, of course, I love my work. And
well, you're not jumping through the hoops of others, and you're not trying to mold yourself to match their desires. You're aligning with what's in your vortex, so there's no competition.
Right. There's no competition. Yeah. 12. There's a finite container of resources that we are all dipping into with our requests is a false premise.
So again, that's what we were talking about shortage consciousness. The flawed premise is there's only so much. We like to liken this to the economic pie, because people say there's only this much economic, and if that person gets a big slice, then the rest of us have to divide up what's left. And what we want you to realize is that with all of that, you are putting forth this rocket of desire that's creating this larger and larger vibrational pie. So the flawed premise that there isn't enough of something is because you are dividing up what's already manifested. The true premise is there is no end to the abundance that is flowing. There is no end to it. And once you sync vibrationally with the idea, the manifestation must follow. Mm-hmm. That's what all creation is. It's what all evolution is. It's what all manifestational expansion is.
Flawed premise 13. There are right ways and wrong ways to live.
Everyone gets to choose. The true premise is that no two are living exactly the same way, and all are living right as far as source is concerned. But you have to remember that a true premise, source always stands inside the vortex, looking at what you have vibrationally created, never giving attention to where you stand that caused you to create it. So when you sync up, true premise, when you sync up with the way source sees your life, your expression of it, your opinion of it will be as rewarding and exhilarating as the opinion that source has about your life. Because in every true premise, in every moment, you've got an in the vortex life and an out of the vortex life. The only question is where are you focused right now? You see. And if you will let the vortex train you, that's the life that will begin to reveal itself to you in terms of manifestation. True premise. You got to accept the vibrational world before any of this begins to make sense. You've got to accept the vibration and the vortex, and you've got to be willing to align with it. And then the manifestation will give you and everyone else evidence that you are there.
I love how in the beginning of the new book, it says, your vortex is a vibrational place, but it is a reality. It's a place nonetheless. It is your vibrational reality. It is a place. It's real. 14, flawed premise. There is a God who, having considered all things, has come to a final and correct conclusion about everything.
True premise. Because of the work that you are doing here, that which man calls God is joyously expanding.
15, flawed premise. You cannot know while you are still in your physical body the true reward or punishment for your physical actions.
True premise. Because the evolution and expansion of that which you are vibrationally is so extraordinary, only in your absolute absence of resistance will you be able to behold it fully. And that will be once you reemerge into non-physical. That's when you'll feel your real awareness of the beauty and magnificence and contribution of that which is you. You can come close in your physical body, but it is only in non-physical that there is enough absence of resistance for you to really know who you are. That's why we keep trying to tell you, but you don't believe us.
How good death is.
How good you are.
16, flawed premise. By gathering data about the manifestations or results of the way people on earth have lived or are living, we can effectively sort them into absolute piles of right and wrong.
True premise. Everyone is sifting through the data and knowing what they don't want and knowing what they do want. The value in all of that exercise is all contained inside the vortex. Sifting through the piles of manifestation only gives you evidence of where people have held their attention. Sifting through the piles in the vortex brings you to the culmination of all things wanted.
I'm going to have to listen to the CD for that one. 17, flawed premise. Only very special people, like the founder of our group, can receive the right message from God.
Everyone is an extension of source energy, and everyone has equal access to the energy of that which is source. You just have to find the vibrational frequency, and it is yours.
That's great. Flawed premise 18. By ferreting out the undesirable elements in our society, we can eliminate them.
You cannot push against anything and eliminate it. The more you push against what you do not want, the more of that which you do not want occurs. True premise. You get what you think about, whether you want it or not. True premise. Whatever you give your attention to, you keep active in your vibration, and it will show itself to you frequently until you are convinced that the world is full of it. Even though the world is not full of it, your life may be.
Flawed premise 19. A good relationship is one in which the dominant intention of each person involved is to find agreement and harmony with the other.
True premise. The best relationships are those where the people involved have a dominant intention of syncing up with their individual vortex and their inner being. When two people who are in alignment with who they are come together, they will have a magnificent relationship. And the reason the other is a flawed premise is because when you try to please another, when you try to mold your desires to match what another wants, and in the process you sacrifice your alignment with what's in your vortex, then you come to resent them. So while you may get away with it for a while, in time you resent the freedom that you are giving up. True premise. Align with your vortex and live happily ever after. And anyone who has the benefit of being near someone who's in the vortex can attest to the power of that.
Love it. Flawed premise 20. When I focus upon things of a physical nature, I am less spiritual.
Well, people often have the flawed premise that there is manifestation or physical, and then there is spirit or that which is source, as if they are different, when true premise is that everything that is physical is an extension of that which is source. So the most spiritual, godlike, aligned, leading edge expression of that which is God is right here, physically manifested all around you.
Wow. 21.
What people mean to say about physical stuff being non-spiritual is they're out of the vortex moments. They're out of the vortex, fussing over something that is physical, and then someone says, well, if you weren't so worried about what's physical and were more godlike, you'd feel better. And what they really mean is, if you would be more general and less specific, you'd be in the vortex and you'd be able to view what is physical through the eyes of Source, and then you would understand the godlike, Source-like qualities of this physical world that surrounds you. Yes.
Because Source can see the God in everything.
Source is the God in everything. Knows it only. Never focuses on the absence or lack.
Is just the light.
That's why we say it is only when you really reemerge back into physical that you will really be able to feel it in its perfection. Yes.
Because this is a dualistic world that we're living in now, but once we're out of the body, then we're aligned.
Well, there's contrast everywhere, even in non-physical. But as long as you are physically focused, your propensity to resistance is just simply put far greater than when you are non-physically focused. In other words, the frequency of source in every vibration there is wanted and not wanted, but the preciseness of the frequency of the non-physical is so extreme that you cannot even discern it from your physical format. In other words, your physical instrument is not tuned there. Even with our meditation CD, we cannot tune you to the precise frequency of Source, but you get close enough to feel the ecstasy of it. Yes.
It is ecstasy. That CD is amazing. Flawed premise 21. It is my job as a parent to have all the answers so that I can teach those answers to my children.
Well, the reason it's a flawed premise is because you can't ask all the questions and therefore find all of the answers that your children will be asking. Each of you is true premise. Each of you are individually, through the exploration of your own life, putting the questions out and creating your own answers, finding the problems and creating your own solutions, and no other can lead you to it. Your vortex will call you to it, but no other can lead you to it. Another can lead you to the concepts of the vortex. Another can lead you to the concepts of feeling good. You can influence alignment within your children, but you cannot dictate their desires. That is for their life to create.
That's another thing that's gone so much. I've asked you 3 questions about parenting, and now I'm loving my relationship with my children. I am more free now as a mom than I was before because it's forced me to really apply these teachings. Okay, final flawed premise, 22. I can criticize successful people and still achieve my own success.
True premise. When I praise success wherever I see it, I'm in alignment with the success that I seek for myself. When I criticize success wherever I see it, now I'm not in alignment with the success that I seek. Again, the truest of all true premises are, I get what I offer vibrationally. And any time I'm in the mode of criticizing, then I'm out of alignment with the success that I've been reaching for through all that I've been living. This was fun. Good time for a segment of lunch.
Thank you.